In 2015, the MLB tasked Claudia Silva, a computer science professor at NYU, to create a new system to capture player and ball movement. This was the development of StatCast. Now, this system has captivated me since about 2019. I'm a very big baseball fan, and it has always been a great tool for me to interact better with baseball. So, when research was presented to me, I thought that there was all kinds of great ways to incorporate this into a research project, which is why I have chosen StatCast analytics in baseball as my research topic. And the question that I pose is, which StatCast statistics relate most to overall team success? So, in that, what have I learned? So, over the last really about 3 years, but specifically over the last semester, I've dug in a lot into StatCast and all of its inner workings and how it is being used in baseball and how it is interpreted. And so, a little bit of background on stats in general in the MLB. So, stat tracking is not a new thing in the MLB. I can currently pull up the game log for 1881 to find old Hoss Radbourn's legendary 1881 season where he had a 2.43 ERA with a 2.6 FIP over 360 innings. It was a great season. But this is all results based. This is things that happened on the field. This is stuff that can be tracked, that I can write down. Me, personally. StatCast is a little different. So StatCast is more of what I consider to be a process type of tracking system. So they use high-speed cameras to capture all the movements of all the players, all the balls in play at every single major league, minor league stadium. Meaning that if you hit a 110-mile-an-hour line drive to the second baseman and it almost takes his head off, but he catches it, in old days, that's just an out. No one really cares. No one tracks it. StatCast doesn't know it's an out. StatCast sees your bat path, your bat speed, your launch angle, the velocity of the ball hit, which is what I referenced at first. And so it calculates all that and comes up with expected batting averages, expected slugging percentages, your bat speed, all these great tools and analytical evidence to show why that was a good process or should have ended up in a good result, more I should say. And so that's a little bit of background on StatCast. Other things I've learned more into research of this is how little research there is on StatCast since it has been introduced. So while coming up with this over the last semester, I've noticed that there is like zero, almost no research, scholarly research done on StatCast in general. And so I think it would be beneficial to add something into that realm. And I think a great branching into all of this would be to get an article out there. And so I just thought it was a bit interesting that there's not much. It's been around 10 years now. It's what the sport runs off of, basically. Like, it's what everybody uses. And so I think it'd be beneficial. Now, there's no scholarly research, but beat writers seem to love this. So beat writers have been using StatCast ever since it was brought out. You can go on to ESPN, anything to do with MLB, and everyone in that world basically references StatCast and they use it in creative and fun ways to find out why players are better or why they're unique and why they're able to do things. And they basically are able to create stories with these statistics on why players are unique or why they're good or why they're struggling, all this stuff. And so I thought it was really interesting that um, it's used in wide context, but there's not much scholarly uh, research that has been performed. Another thing that you can probably tell that I've learned is how woven into the sport it is. So um, I was well aware before getting into this research that it is very much a big part of the sport and how teams use it to analyze players, but it has seeped into everything. It is in the production of the TV broadcast. It is referenced on radio broadcast. It's become such a big part of the sport. But I mean, it's in contracts. Like if it's permeated throughout not only the organizations but also the productions, the business side. It is such a large part of the MLB that it can't really be taken for granted, and it needs to have more light shed on it to how it has worked, how it benefits teams, how it has performed. Also, as you can tell, it has affected player development, but at all levels. So MLB, obviously, minor league, they are my main focus. But even looking at colleges and even high schools, they're using radar or like um, Trackmans, Rapsodos all the time to gather more information because they have seen that this information is useful and can be used to benefit their players at each level. And everyone's looking to get an edge, and it has become the thing to track as many stats in a results based way as, or not in a results based way, my bad, in a process based way as possible. And then some more formal things that I've learned about. So obviously, secondary data is huge for me. Um, Learning about how secondary data works, how and all that is a big part of this research for me specifically. And then also quantitative and qualitative data. I thought this was interesting because um, when I think about quantitative and qualitative data, I think there's ways to draw how my questioning can be interpreted into either one. I think the mine probably falls more under quantitative data, but I can also see where this is really a qualitative type of analytics. And so my remaining plan for the rest of my culminating experience is to do this next semester. So I'll be taking 2 classes next semester. I want to do this research all in one semester. I think it would be beneficial to me. It would help me graduate earlier, or and I think I will be able to handle this within one semester, and I'm looking forward to it. I think the research is going to be very interesting. I have thoroughly enjoyed the research I've done so far, and I can't wait to hear from you. Anyways, thank you so much, Dr. Zimmer, and I will see you soon.